Hello everyone, and welcome to our LGS Biology YouTube channel, where we break down all things biology. In today's video, we'll be exploring three key concepts from your GCSE Biology course: active transport, diffusion, and osmosis. These processes are crucial for understanding how substances move in and out of cells. So, let's dive right in. So, first up, let's talk about diffusion. So this is the movement of particles from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration. So imagine if you like spraying perfume in one corner of the room. Over time, that scent will spread throughout the room because the perfume particles move from where they are most concentrated to where they're less concentrated. An example of this in a biological concept would be the transfer of oxygen into your red blood cells from the alveoli after you breathe in. So what's happening here is oxygen molecules are diffusing into your cells from the alveoli, where there's a higher concentration of oxygen, into the blood, where there's a lower concentration in the cells. So the key points from diffusion is a high concentration, low concentration movement of particles, and it's a passive process. This means it doesn't require any extra energy to be given through respiration. Not that it doesn't require any energy full stop, but we don't need to give this process any extra energy for it to happen. Next, let's move on to osmosis. So osmosis is similar to diffusion, but with a twist. So osmosis is the net movement of water molecules across a partially permeable membrane from a region, again, of high concentration to low concentration, but this time of water molecules. So it's high to low water concentration or high to low water potential. So this process is especially important in plant cells. So I'm going to introduce three key words here: isotonic, hypotonic, hypotonic. Isotonic means you've got the same level of concentration inside and out of the cells. Hypotonic means you've got less concentration of water inside the cell and outside the cell. And hypertonic means you've got more concentration of water inside the cell to outside the cell. So what this means, if you think about it, is if water is going to osmose across the semipermeable membrane down a concentration gradient, in isotonic solution, water's coming in and out at the same time. It's absolutely fine. In a hypotonic solution, water's coming in. So the plant cell is actually getting full. It's getting something called turgid. And in a hypertonic solution, the water is actually leaving the plant cell net, and so becoming flaccid, which is useful for the plant in opening and closing stomata, for example. So this is what happens to guard cells when they open and close stomata, or when the plant will take in water from its root hair cells. It allows the plant to be structurally sound, to be stable, basically, when it grows higher. Now, osmosis happens in plant cells and animal cells as well. So animal cells have a cell membrane which is partially permeable. But because animal cells do not have a cell wall, this time, rather than becoming turgid like a plant cell would, we call it lysed or plasmolysed. Now, if we were to leave both cells in a hypertonic solution for long enough, the animal cell will become shriveled or crenated. The plant cell will become plasmolysed, where the cell, as you can see, the cell is actually coming away from the cell wall, the cell insides, the cell membrane. Whereas in a red blood cell, or an animal cell, because we do not have a plant cell wall, it would become shriveled or crenated. So to recap osmosis again, it's a net movement of water from high to low concentration across a partially permeable membrane. And again, this is a passive process as well. So we don't require any extra energy from respiration for this to occur. Finally, let's look at active transport. So this one's a little bit different because it actually requires energy. It requires us to give ATP. So active transport moves molecules against their concentration gradient, meaning you're going from an area of low concentration to an area of high concentration. This is opposite to diffusion, opposite to osmosis. For example, in plant cell root hair cells, you've got your minerals like potassium and nitrates which are absorbed from the soil, even when their concentration is low in the soil inside the root cell. To do this, plants use energy to pump the minerals in. So active transport is powered by a molecule called ATP, which provides the energy for this process. The ATP is actually being used to move these protein pumps. So what they do is they basically, if you like, they take the molecule that you're looking for, whatever, for in this case, it could be glucose in the intestines, it could be your nitrates in the soil, and it moves it inside. So that's what the ATP is being used for, to actually move this protein pump along to allow you to move something against this concentration gradient. So to recap, active transport, it's against the net concentration gradient, uses protein pumps, and requires energy, ATP, unlike diffusion and osmosis. Very quickly, to make sure all three processes are clear, diffusion osmosis are passive. They don't need energy. They move particles from a concentration, high concentration, low concentration. Osmosis moves water particles specifically across a semi-permeable membrane. Diffusion is the movement of particles like gases, etc., from high to low concentration. Active transport, on the other hand, needs energy because it moves substances against their concentration gradient from a low concentration to a high concentration gradient, so we're giving ATP. Remember, the key for this is when you say it requires energy, we mean it requires extra energy, so we're giving it extra energy in the form of ATP, as opposed to just no energy whatsoever. That's it for today. I hope this video helped you understand the difference between active transport and diffusion osmosis. If you found it useful, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and comment below any questions you may have. Thanks for watching, and good luck.